The armies of the Maker marched to the heart of the Imperium. They looked upon those gates, guarded by the juggernauts of old, and despaired. For surely neither army nor god could oppose such might.
Bad dreams, huh?
Why are you bothering me? I'm fine.
It's just that you were shouting in your sleep, loud, and not in a good, this is private way either.
Must have been something I ate.
Drank more like, as in the tainted blood, remember?
What? It seemed so real.
Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
Why didn't Duncan just tell everyone that?
He did. He said he felt the Archdemon's presence. Everyone just assumed he was guessing.
The Archdemon? Is that the dragon?
I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon.
Are these dreams going to happen a lot?
It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too.
I'm not frightened.
I screamed like a little girl. Duncan said he thought I had someone in my room. Not embarrassing at all.
You could have told me sooner.
I know, I've just been so distracted with the, massacre of all my friends and the war and all that. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's just... Thank you, Alistair. I appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for. To deliver unpleasant news and witty one-liners.
Any other surprises I should know about?
Other than dying young and the whole defeat the blight alone thing, no. I'm all tapped out for surprises. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on. Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I, should probably have told you earlier. Well, let's see. How do I tell you this? We're almost at Redcliffe. Did I say how I know Arl Eamon exactly? Maybe some other time... Oh, no, I don't want to think about that. I really don't.
I thought I saw travelers coming down the road, though I scarcely believed it. Have you come to help us?
I'm on important business. I need to see the Arl.
The Arl? Then you don't know? Has nobody out there heard?
There's a civil war going on, if you hadn't noticed.
We heard news about the king and all the fighting. That was before everything started here.
I've heard Eamon is ill, if that's what you mean.
He could be dead for all we know. Nobody's heard from the castle in days. If you're coming into the village, you can't avoid what's happened. We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying.
Is anyone surprised? Anyone?
Apparently everyone seems to agree that a blight is the perfect time to start killing each other. Marvelous, really.
We've no army to defend us. No Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead. And those left are terrified they're next.
Hold on, what is this evil that's attacking you?
I don't rightly know. I'm sorry, nobody does. I should take you to Bann Teagan. He's all that's holding us together. He'll want to see you.
Bann Teagan, Arl Eamon's brother. He's here.
Yes. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They are obviously not simple travelers.
Oh, good eye.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Teagan, Ban of Rainersphere, brother to the Arl. You're a rather unusual group, to say the least. Can I ask who you are and why you've come?
We've come to see your brother.
You're here to see my brother? I see. Is it important business?
I'm a Grey Warden, and I would prefer to bring this matter to your brother. No offense, my lord.
I suppose you have good reason to be suspicious. There is a Grey Warden who goes by the name of Alistair. Does he yet live?
And why do you want to know?
My brother raised him. If Alistair's alive, I'm certain he will want to know. I hope so, for Eamon's sake. I barely know the lad myself.
You don't recognize me, Bann Teagan? Though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair, you're alive! This is wonderful news!
Still alive, and believe me, I'm just as surprised about it as you are.
Some of us are deeply disappointed by it.
I am less surprised than you might think, despite what Loghain put you through. I'm glad not all the Grey Wardens are lost.
Yes, though not for long if Loghain has anything to say about it.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things.
Your nephew?
I refer to Kaitlyn, of course. Our sister was Queen Rowan, King Merrick's wife and Caitlyn's mother. Make her rest her soul.
It lifts my spirits to see you here, dear boy, and my hope for tonight is renewed.
So, you don't believe Loghain's lies?
What, that he pulled his men in order to save them? That Kaitlyn risked everything in the name of glory? Hardly. Loghain calls the Grey Wardens traitors, murderers of the king. I don't believe it. It is an act of a desperate man. Is it possible we've met? You seem very familiar.
Oh, we have. But I believe you knew my father better. Ten Cousland.
Ah, yes, that's it, exactly. A pleasure to meet you indeed, though I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother? Unfortunately, that might be a problem. Eamon is gravely ill. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and no one has responded to my shouts. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished during the assault. Some call them the Walking Dead, decomposing corpses returning to life with a hunger for human flesh.
Why are you telling me this?
Because each night they return, their ranks bolstered with our recently dead, and we are desperate for help.
It seems there is no end to the demands upon your time. Let us seek your allies elsewhere.
With Kaitlyn dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair, I hate to ask, but I desperately need the help of you and your friends.
It isn't just up to me. Though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without Eamon.
You don't know me. How do you even know I'm qualified to deal with the undead?
I know Alistair, and I trust those he chooses to travel with. What do you say?
There are no darkspawn here, and nothing to gain. It is a fool's errand.
What would you rather have us do instead?
Leave.
Leave? And what about our plan to get Eamon's help?
The plan was never to come and defend this village.
Perhaps not. You're here, however, on the eve of our darkest hour. I'm hoping that means the Maker sent you to us.
I can't just abandon these people.
You'd save this village while countless others fall to the darkspawn. So be it.
I suppose you're right.
Sometimes a heart must be as stone.
What a relief that you do not intend to mire us in this pitiful mess. Let us be underway soon.
I'm sorry, my lord. You have to understand, as Grey Wardens, the Darkspawn are our primary concern.
We're just going to abandon these people to their fate? Surely you don't mean that.
Sten has a point, Leliana. The Grey Wardens do what they have to.
Maybe you're right. Ah, how I hate this.
It's risky. You'd rather we died with them.
I'd rather we tried. We could make all the difference here.
You're right. We should help.
Thank the Maker. I knew you'd see sense.
How pointless to help these villagers fight an impossible battle. One would think we had enough to contend with elsewhere.
We need Eamon's support. If there's a chance to rescue him, we have to try. And if Eamon's dead, the title goes to Bann Teagan. Best to be on his good side.
Perhaps.
Thank you. Thank you. This means more to me than you can guess. Thomas, please tell Murdock what transpired. Then return to your post.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. I put 2 men in charge of the defense outside. Murdock, the village mayor, is outside the Chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle.
Do you have some of the knights here with you?
I have those few who returned from their quest. You know of this, yes?
The search for the urn?
Yes, I question Isolde's decision to send so many knights in search of this relic. But I am a practical man, whereas she is a woman of great faith. Eamon's illness is very serious. The Arlessa, out of desperation, sent the knights on a quest for a cure. I know little about this, other than that the cure was supposed to be an ancient relic of great power. Sir Perth was one of the knights sent on this quest. Perhaps you should speak to him if you wish to learn more.
Why are you in the Chantry with the village?
Sir Perth insists. He wants me to be with the villagers, so everyone he needs to protect is in one place. I don't mind, to be honest. The point of all this is to protect the villagers, and I can do that best here. This is the last line of defense, should things go amiss.
Amiss?
Should the monsters find their way in. I would prefer not to fight in the Chantry, but if they come, then so must it be.
Won't that look cowardly?
I'm not here for glory. I would prefer being outside, but Perth has a point. We could bring some men in to stand beside me, but I'd rather keep the monsters away from the villagers if possible.
What happens after the battle's over?
Hopefully we can find the source and stop it before it causes any more damage. With luck, we'll also find Eamon and be able to help him.
So, what are these things that are attacking the village?
I do not know. They seem to be walking corpses, men with rotting flesh that continue to attack even with the gravest injuries.
Undead? Spirits possessing the dead. There could be several causes behind such a thing, none of them pleasant.
I'm curious about you.
This is hardly the time to be discussing personal details, don't you think? We will have to fight for our lives very shortly.
And that's exactly why I'd like to know a bit about you.
I beg your pardon, my lady. Where are my manners? What would you like to know?
What will you do if your brother is dead?
I don't know. If Connor lives, he'll be the Arl and I'll need to help him with it. If he's... well, I don't want to think about that.
Why have you stayed?
After the first attack, I wanted to go for help, but I couldn't just leave these people. The Bannon gear up to battle Loghain, while Darkspawn loom to the south. Loghain won't send anyone, so Redcliffe is on its own.
That's a commendable attitude. But can you fight? Are you skilled in battle?
Skilled enough to know there are many far better than myself.
Do you have any family yourself?
Oh, you mean, am I married? No, I've never had the pleasure. If I did, I'd be lucky to find a woman as lovely as yourself.
Very lucky.
Just so.
Flatterer.
If I may be so bold, what of you, my lady? Are you married?
And if I was?
Ah, lucky man, indeed. You'll have to introduce me sometime, provided we survive.
Lucky for you, then. I'm not.
I find that hard to believe. Surely that is a crime somewhere. But I am too bold, my lady. This is hardly the time for such banter. Please accept my apology.
In fact, I don't think you're bold enough.
You're too kind, my lady. Amongst many other things.
Perhaps we should get back to the matter at hand.
Good, then my secrets are still safe. I was worried for a moment there. Luck be with you, my friend.
You are a stranger amongst us, and a mage, I see. Yet you still agree to defend our village in its darkest hour. We are most grateful to you.
You can tell my companion's mage.
Do not fear. I am not about to raise a rabble against you. I'm sure your magic will prove valuable before the day is out.
So, when you are useful, that is when you are not lynched. 'Tis good to know.
The Maker smiles on those who aid his children, regardless of their beliefs. But I do not wish to irritate you.
Be grateful when we win.
I will be grateful of your attempt, even if it fails. We can ask no more.
I can't stand by. All monsters attack the innocent.
Not many in these modern days would honestly say the same. You are a woman of worth, and the Maker will smile upon you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am revered Mother Hannah, head of this Chantry, which for the moment is a place of refuge for these poor villagers.
How awful this must be for you all. Is this everyone who's left?
All those who cannot defend themselves, yes. They are terrified of tonight's attack, and I fear these walls will not keep them safe. Most believe they will die tonight.
If they intend to cower and not fight, then most of them likely will.
I still embrace hope. The Maker sent Bann Teagan to us. Perhaps he has sent you as well.
Just how safe is the Chantry?
It is the sturdiest building in the village. The women, elderly, and children will stay here during the battle, while the militia and knights protect them. They set up a barricade outside the Chantry to keep monsters from getting inside. If anything gets in, Bann Teagan is our only defense. Please, have mercy. Help these people. Do whatever you can.
My companions would appreciate your blessing, revered mother.
Of course, child. Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou who seeks his forgiveness. Blessed art thou who seeks his return. Blessed is the prophetess, his daughter, sacrificed to the holy flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition.
Mother Hannah says we have to be brave. She says the Maker will smile on us.
Why haven't Mother and Father returned yet?
They're gone, dear boy. Gone on a long trip.
When will they be back? I miss them.
Be brave, young man. Your parents would want that. We need you here to protect the rest of us. Yes?
I guess I can do that.
There's a good lad. In the morning, we'll look for your parents. In the morning. Maker bless you for helping us, futile though it may be.
Everybody gets really scared.
Why do we have to stay in here? I want to go home.
I do not want to become one of those things dragged off and made into a monster.
You're a Grey Warden, right? Were you in Ostagar? In the Korkari Wilds? My husband and son went there to bring the Chant of Light to the Chastened. But I haven't heard from them since.
Are you Jetta.
I am. You've heard of me?
Your husband and son are both dead. I'm sorry.
I thought that might be the case. Thank you for telling me. Maker's blessings upon you. These are terrible times. Just terrible.
Where's Father? Why can't we go home?
I already told you. Father is outside defending the village from the bad men. We must stay here and be brave. Can you do that?
I guess so.
I'm so scared, Father. What are we going to do?
Silence, girl. Do you want the children to hear you?
But night is coming. The monsters will return and we sit here and wait for them.
We have no choice. We must pray and hope for the Maker's compassion.
I just hope everything will be all right. So many have already died.
The Maker will judge us by how we meet our deaths. We must be brave and sing the chant of light with Mother Hannah.
Sorry, am I bothering you? I'll try to be more quiet.
It's all right. What's your name?
My name's Kaitlyn, my lady. Pardon my manners, but are you really a Grey Warden? Honestly?
Where did you hear that?
I overheard someone. I don't remember who. You're so pretty, I never thought... I never expected... Never mind. Are you going to help us? Everyone says we're going to die tonight.
You're not going to die. Don't say that.
You're very kind to say that. I wish I could believe you. I shouldn't be such a crybaby. With Mother gone now, I have to be brave. I can't help myself. I'm so frightened.
What happened?
Those things dragged my mother away. I don't know what happened to her, but I hear her screaming all the time. I can't even sleep. I close my eyes, and I see my mother being carried off. What have we done that the Maker allows this to continue?
How terrible, you poor thing. I wish there was something we could do to help.
I'm not worried about her. She's dead. I wish it wasn't so, but it is. And now my brother Bevan, he ran off. I don't know where he is. I'm so scared they got him too.
Have you tried looking for him?
I went to our house. It's by the square. He wasn't there. I searched the rest of the village too. I called and I called, but he never answered. I wonder if he ran off into the woods. I'm so worried. Without me, he has nobody.
Why would he run off? Do you know?
He said something about saving Mother. He's just a little boy. He doesn't understand she's gone.
If he has foolishly run off, then he is no doubt dead. You should get used to that fact.
Nice. Maybe you want to kick her in the head while you're at it.
I can't believe you'd say such a thing. Have you no heart at all?
Shall we comfort her with lies? If she is to face death, better she face it honestly.
Or better yet, pick up a blade and avenge him.
I understand, I do. I'm just so afraid for him. I hope he didn't try to go to the castle. Oh, that would be awful. Please, if you see my brother, send him back here. I don't want him to die too.
Don't worry. I'll look for him.
You will? Thank you so much. Please find him.
What is that smell? Fish? And something else. Oh, more fish.
You know, we don't have the men we need. And their numbers just keep growing each night.
Well, sure, they take the dead and they,
I don't want to think about that.
So what do you think will happen to all those people we left behind in Lothering?
Some of them will find their way to Denerim. Many will die, as the Maker wills.
Don't you wish you could have stayed there? To help more people, I mean.
If the blight isn't stopped, everyone will die. This is the greater good we're serving, both of us, right here.
So it's all right to let some people die for the greater good? I'm not so sure about that. I felt bad leaving all those people there, all panicked and helpless.
You're doing what you must, Alistair. There will be worse to come yet. You will need to steel yourself. You know this.
I've never been very good at that. The steeling myself part. I find it better sometimes to just be a little weak. I'm all right with that, really.
I don't believe you. And either way,
It's not as if any of us has a choice.
Doesn't Owen know that he'll die too if we die?
We should break into the smithy. Someone besides Owen must know how to use the forge. Why hasn't anyone come to help us? There should be soldiers here. We're not soldiers.
King's dead, I hear. And the rest of Ferelden's in a civil war, so nobody's gonna come, are they?
It's not just Redcliffe having trouble, is it? I've heard the news. These are dark times indeed.
Still no sign of them coming back from the castle, Murdock.
Tell them to maintain watch. I don't want a surprise attack before the sun goes down. So you're the Grey Warden, are you? I didn't think they made women Grey Wardens.
And why would you think that?
For more reasons than you'd care to hear, I bet. Still, there's no reason to think Bann Teagan's lost his mind.
I don't think the Darkspawn care who kills them.
If you hadn't noticed, there aren't Darkspawn around these parts. Not yet, anyway.
I'm in Grey Warden uniform. Are you really doubting me?
A damn Qunari could walk up and say he was a Grey Warden. I wouldn't know the difference. That much is clear. We aren't gonna turn aside anyone who wants to help, though. Don't take me for being an ingrate or nothing.
That's good. The survival rate of ingrates is rather low. So I've heard.
Well, we do want to help however we can. You can trust us.
Name's Murdock, mayor of what's left of the village, providing we aren't all killed and hauled off to the castle tonight.
You seem rather calm, all things considered.
My men are certain enough as it is that they'll die tonight. They don't need me quivering in my boots. My death will come soon enough. It don't need me hurrying it along.
Have faith. We will defeat this evil together.
I hope you're right. I've been trying to hold us together, but it isn't easy.
Anyhow, you're here, and they tell me you're in charge.
We're the last defenders of them folks in the Chantry. The women, elderly, and the children. They're the ones we need to protect.
The weak must learn to protect themselves.
Right, those helpless bastards. How dare they?
That is unworthy of you, Sten. Are the Qunari never in need of aid? Are you people so heartless?
No Qunari would ever cower helplessly, not woman nor elder nor child. They would fight for their survival with tooth and nail.
Well, we're not Qunari. I'm not asking those folk to fight monsters. No matter what happens, we can't let them evil things in there. If they die, the village is done.
How is morale?
Morale's about what you'd expect. These men aren't soldiers. They're villagers defending their homes, and they're frightened. It would help if we had decent equipment. There weren't enough swords in Owen's shop, and the men's armor is nearly falling off. I don't think we're in any shape to fight. We'll do our best, of course, but, well, I have my doubts. I just hope I'm alive tomorrow morning.
Oh, a good thing we came along then. I doubt any of your weapons would stack up to our particular arsenal.
Oh, how nice of you to drop by and grace us with your magnificence. Maybe later you could show us which end of our swords to hold.
Would this be before or after we save your sorry hides?
The sooner the better, perhaps. But I was referring to magic.
Well, now, that's just great. As if we weren't nervous enough as it was. Now we've got magic too.
More than you realize, even.
We need what little armor and weapons we got repaired, and quickly, or half of us will be fighting without either. Owen's the only blacksmith who can do it, but the stubborn fool refuses to even talk. If we're to be ready for tonight, we'll need that crotchety bastard's help.
Why does he refuse to talk to you?
His daughter, Valena, is one of the Alessa's maids, so he hasn't heard from her since this whole business started. He demanded we attack the castle, break down the gate, and force our way in. I said it was impossible, but he wouldn't listen. He's locked himself in the smithy now. I can't force him to do repairs. He said he'd rather die first.
Nobody else can do these repairs?
Not by nightfall, and not well enough that I'd be happy to test it in combat. If there were others, don't you think I'd ask them?
Anything else you need?
We could use some extra bodies. Having a veteran like Dwyn in the militia would help a lot, but he flat out refuses.
Dwyn?
He's a trader, a dwarf, lives near the lake. Locked himself up in his home with some of his workers, he has. Says he doesn't need any of us. We could use somebody with his fighting experience, but he won't come out.
Where can I get supplies?
If you want weapons and such, you'd go to the blacksmith, but there isn't much left there.
There's nowhere to actually buy or sell things?
Commerce isn't exactly our biggest concern right now, but you might want to speak to Lloyd at the tavern. I wouldn't trust him, though.
All right. Tell me about what's happened here, exactly.
Don't rightly know. We heard the owl was sick and getting worse, but after a while we heard nothing at all. A few folks went up to the castle to see what was going on. They couldn't get in. Nobody was there, not a soul. And then those horrid creatures attacked the village. They were everywhere, people dying. It was awful. Good thing Bann Teagan was here.
Do you know anything about the Earl's illness?
No. I know the Alessa sent the knights out for a cure. You can ask Sir Perth about it. He was one of them. Right. Let's hope we see mourning.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Anyone here?
You know what? Fuck it.
Wonderful. Intruders. I hope you have a good reason for breaking and entering into my home.
Apology accepted. The name's Dwyn. Pleased to meet you. Now get out.
I go where I want. Unless you'd like to stop me.
No, have to run the place. It's not like I could stop people like you anyway. Now, kindly tell me why you're here.
What are you doing? Shut up in here.
Surviving. We have supplies to last for quite some time. And my boys and I can swing a weapon better than any of those fools out there.
You'll die just as easily in here as you would out there.
Thanks. But I'll take my chances in here. Everyone else can run around in the open waiting to die.
Well, you should be out defending them.
Why? When did this town ever rush to my rescue?
So you're a coward.
You look more than competent. With you out there, they don't really need me, do they?
Can't I change your mind?
Maybe. Let's hear what you've got.
How about a little more personal reward?
Oh, lady. I know better than to melt when a pretty girl bats her eyes at me. How long do you think I've been doing this?
Okay. I could put in a good word for you. With Bann Teagan or the Owl.
You might just be able to pull that off. Fine. I'll throw in with the militia. For now.
Good man.
Spoken like someone who doesn't know me very well.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this because of you. Go tell Murdock he won. And I better see you out there in the square when those creatures come.
The Swamp Witch has a great deal in common with my former master.
The Swamp Witch? How original.
The Swamp Witch has the same arrogance, the same air of cruelty. I would hate for it to have possession of my control rod, if it still worked, of course.
Let me tell you what you can do with your control rod, Gollum.
Is it telling me that if the rod did work, that it wouldn't want control over me?
I wouldn't go so far as that. I could, for instance, command you to go and jump in a lake. A very deep lake.
It fools no one. The Swamp Witch would control everything if it could. It would have us all dancing on its strings.
Oh, you know me too well, Gollum. Your revealing gaze has laid me bare.
I will be watching the Swamp Witch. It must not be trusted.
Now you're beginning to sound just like Alistair.
Tempted to sit back and watch.
Don't you ever talk? You know, make polite conversation, just to put people at ease.
You mean that I should remark upon the weather before I cut off a man's head?
Never mind.
I'm just glad I got a steady job. These humans don't know the hilt of a sword from the pointy end. This ought to be
Leliana, what do you know about Redcliffe?
Redcliffe? I know little of it except that it is the domain of the Earl of Redcliffe. Redcliffe? I wonder how the name came to be. Is the clay here red? There are places in this world where the clay is a bright, strange red, and often, in the legends of such places, it is the red of blood. The blood of 1,000 men slaughtered in battle, or that of an innocent unjustly slain. It stains the land that it may never be forgotten. Perhaps Redcliffe has one such tale. But I do not know it.
Thanks for persuading him to come out here. He's going to be a great help. I just know it. The men's spirits are high for now. Far better than I expected, to be honest. Dwyn's presence makes the men a bit more confident. It helps to know a veteran is on our side tonight. It would help if we had decent equipment. There weren't enough swords in Owen's shop, and the men's armor is nearly falling off. We're better off than we were. I don't know that we would ever be really ready for battle, though. I hope Owen has a change of heart. If we can get some good weapons, we might actually live to see tomorrow. Don't drink with him. That's how he sucks you in. Just my luck, our success hinges on the most foolish drunk of a smith ever to grace the Maker's lands.
Go away. Curse you. Leave me in peace. You've already taken everything out of my stores. There's nothing left.
Is this Owen, the blacksmith? I need to speak with you.
Huh? Who is that? What do you want? I've been through enough.
I need some smithing done.
If you didn't notice, the smithy is closed, the forge is cold, you've come to the wrong place.
We really need repairs for the militia.
That's so. Well, if Murdock wants more weapons, you can give him the same answer I did. He can make them himself.
Please. I just want to talk. And I'd rather not do it through a door.
All right. I don't know why you're so determined. Here, I'll get the locks.
Maker's breath. What is that smell? It's like someone set a brewery on fire.
Somebody's been drinking.
So I let you in. You wanted to talk. Now we're talking. Mind telling me who you are?
My name's Lilias. I'm a Grey Warden, helping Bann Teagan.
A Grey Warden, is it? It takes all kinds. Anyhow, my name's Owen, though you might already know that. Care to join me as I get besotted? Or is there something in particular you wanted?
Are you sure you won't help me?
Look around. The militia took everything they could use. I could start up the forge again, but I won't, since Murdock won't listen to me. I've been drinking since I got up this afternoon. That makes, 3 days, maybe more.
The militia can't have taken everything.
Everything that they could find, sure. Walked in here and took it all right off the walls. Why should I help Murdock when he won't help me? My girl, Leliana, is one of the Alistair's maids, and she's trapped up there in the castle, but the mayor won't send anyone for her. She's been my life since my wife passed on 2 years ago. Now she's dead, or soon to be. I don't care what happens to me or the village, or anyone!
If the militia fails, we all die, including your daughter. Help us. Give us a chance to save her.
I'm an old man. Everyone knows we aren't making it through the night. Or are you going to save us?
I intend to try.
Is that so? Maybe it's the drink talking, but you almost sound like you believe that. Tell you what. If you want me to do repairs for Murdock and his men, promise me you'll go into the castle and find my daughter.
And what if she's dead?
It would be better than going to my grave wondering.
I'll do my best.
Not good enough. Murdock said the same damn thing, and I didn't believe him either.
You were asking a great deal, you wretched little man.
Then how do you propose we get his help? Kill him?
Or we could just leave him alone. He's just a drunk old man who wants his daughter back. Is that so terrible?
If the need to kill me overwhelms you, go ahead. It's quicker than the drink, or the monsters.
Or how about we don't? Old man, harmless, drunk, any of these things ring a bell?
Is that an argument for or against?
Against?
Interferer.
Well, don't let me stop your fun.
Don't worry. I'm not planning on killing him.
I want a promise. Promise me that you'll look for her. That you'll bring her back to me if you can.
What's stopping me from lying to you?
Nothing besides your conscience. You got one of them?
Last I checked.
Then I'll take what I can get, and leave the rest to the Maker's grace.
But no one can get into the castle right now. You understand that, right?
Eventually, they'll want to seek out the Jarl and our lesser. And when they do, you go in and bring my Leliana to me.
I promise you, I'll find her.
I'll accept that. It's something to hope for, at least.
Oh, lovely. Shall we next begin rescuing kittens from trees?
Is this a promise we will not keep?
Let's hope not.
What's this?
I said nothing to you, human.
Right then. It seems I have some work to do relighting the forge, and I suppose I'll have to find some iron. Maybe at the mill. Murdock just better send his men here as soon as possible if I'm gonna get to all these repairs and get them done by nightfall. If you need anything done, well, just let me know. I've got a lot to do now, so you'll have to excuse me. Hey, I see you found my hiding place. I stuck some old equipment in there before Murdock could get his hands on it. I don't think there's anything you'll need in there, but it's hard to say. I was in a bit of a rush when I filled it up.
Could the militia use this?
Not if I'm going to repair the equipment they have. That stuff is old, anyhow. Yeah, let me open it for you. I have the key. I must admit, it feels good to be up and doing something finally. There's no way I'm sobering up before morning, however.
It's nice to see you have some purpose.
I've you to thank for that, stranger. Just do what you've promised, and it will have been worthwhile.
What do you know about what's going on?
You mean why are these creatures attacking the village? Obviously something wicked corrupts the castle. My daughter used to tell me the Alistair was up to something, hiding things from her husband. I told Leliana she was imagining things, but maybe the Alistair was involved in something. Blood magic, maybe.
What else did your daughter say?
She thought the Alistair was having an affair with some tutor she hired for the boy, Connor. I never listened much to her talk about it, though I wish now I had. It doesn't matter anyway. She's lost to me, and I can't do anything about her warnings now.
What do you know about the Alistair?
Only that she's an Orlesian girl from beyond the Western Mountains. Far too young for our Arl. That's what I say. And too proud and headstrong from the sounds of it.
You think the Alistair made the Arl ill?
I'd never make such accusations. But maybe, if she was using foul magic, then maybe she just did at that.
Have you told anyone about this?
Of course not. And who would I tell? And what good would it do now, eh? I just wish I'd paid more heed to my girl. Find my Leliana. That's all I want.
Well, it looks like Owen's finally doing the repairs we need. The damn fool is falling over drunk and still manages to make smithying look easy. Good enough, I say. I'll inform Bann Teagan the militia is ready to fight. We'll give those bastards a welcome they won't soon forget. I hope you're right. We may just be village folk, but we're going to fight like there's no tomorrow. The men's spirits are high for now. Far better than I expected, to be honest. Dwyn's presence makes the men a bit more confident. It helps to know a veteran is on our side tonight. Since you convinced Owen to start repairs, we're pretty well armed now. That is a relief, let me tell you. Overall, I'd say the militia's very ready to fight. Never thought I'd say that, but there you go. Is there anything else? I have a good feeling about tonight.
So tell me something, Morrigan. Did you live there in that forest your entire life?
I left it on occasion, but I always returned. Why? Is that so strange? It was my home.
But it was just you and your mother there? No one else?
Mother occasionally had company.
What? Company? Do I even want to ask?
No, you really don't.
There's oil in these barrels.
So, you truly do not believe in any sort of higher power?
It has been bothering you, I see. No, I do not. Must I?
What do you believe happens to you after you die, then? Nothing?
I do not go to sit by the Maker's side, if that's what you mean.
Only those who are worthy are brought to the Maker's side. So many other sad souls are left to wander in the void, hopeless and forever lost.
And what evidence of this have you? I see only spirits. No wandering ghosts of wicked disbelievers.
It must be so sad to look forward to nothing, to feel no love and seek no reward in the afterlife.
Yes, the anguish tears at me so. You have seen through me to my sad, sad core.
Now you're simply mocking me.
You notice? It appears your perceptive powers know no bounds.
Let me ask you this then, Morrigan. What if there really was a Maker?
Then I would wonder why he has abandoned his creation. It seems terribly irresponsible of him.
He left us because we were determined to make our own way, even if we hurt ourselves. And he could not bear to watch.
But how do you know? You cannot ask him this. Perhaps he has gone to a new creation elsewhere and abandoned this as a dismal failure best forgotten.
I do not need to know, because I have faith. I believe in him and feel his hope and his love.
Faith. How quickly those who have no answers invoke that word.
How can someone who practices magic have so little capacity to believe in that which he cannot see?
Magic is real. I can touch it and command it, and I need no faith for it to fill me up inside. If you were looking for your higher power, there it is.
But only if you can control it. I do not envy the loneliness you must feel at times, Morrigan.
Leave me be. Loneliness would be preferred to this endless chatter.
Another doomed soul come to drown their sorrows here, I see. If you came here for a drink, you'll have to talk to Lloyd. He's got a vice grip on the spigots. I'm just here to keep the boys from mutiny.
Shouldn't you be at the Chantry?
Later on, yes. Lloyd will lock himself in the cellar, and I'll go to the Chantry. Are you fighting tonight?
Yes, I am.
That's good to hear. I didn't know that.
So, how has business been?
What business? Without the castle soldiers, the only customers we have are local, and they're all in the militia with no money to spend. The few with any money are here, but it's not enough to justify working. Lloyd's a greasy pig. And if I didn't need this job so badly,
You don't care for Lloyd, I take it.
He gropes me and pays me next to nothing. But I suppose it could be worse. Not like I've got many options.
I could talk to Lloyd about this.
We just come here to try and
No, that'll just make things worse.
Murdock don't like
And that's very sweet, but I'll be fine.
So, why don't you leave?
And go where? With no money and no prospects, I just end up somewhere else working for someone worse.
You could leave if you had help.
You mean after the fighting's over? I'd really like that. What would I have to do in return?
Nothing. Well, I'd take a kiss, maybe?
You're a rare one, you are, making me laugh with this blackness hanging over our heads.
Yes, funny one, all right.
That's what the Grey Wardens are all about. Amusing people.
I tell you what, sweetie. You make it through the night, and you'll get your kiss. Make her bless you. I'll kiss every man in the village if we survive!
What do you know about that elf in the corner?
Not much. He's very quiet. Says his name's Beric and he's here to meet his brother, but I think he's lying. He's a bit creepy.
I should go.
Keep safe.
Hello there, friend. Can't say we've ever met before. Stranger to the village, I take it. Haven't had many travellers lately. All this nonsense is bad for business. Bet you regret coming, yes?
Not at all.
Brave words. Brave words. Well, we'll see when night falls, won't we?
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, evil creatures, impending doom, civil war, and the Earl's dead in the castle. Makes you thirsty, don't it? So, what'll it be? You are here to drink, I hope. Name's Lloyd. So, why'd you come to the village now? The roads can't be all that safe, not with a war brewing.
I'm a Grey Warden.
Well, that explains it. Except for the lack of darkspawn around here. But never mind me.
I came to see our Lehman.
Well, you must have been mighty surprised. He's not exactly talkative these days, eh? Something else I can get for you?
What do you know about that elf in the corner?
And now everyone
Not much. Says his name's Berwick.
They're all
Arrived here
monsters
more than a
now.
week back. Waiting for his brother, he says. I've never seen him before, but he paid good for his room. quiet sort.
What do you know about what's going on?
Not a lot. Castle guards stopped coming in about a week back. It's unusual, too. They were my main source of business. After a few days, I thought it strange enough to ask. But nobody heard anything. Anyone going up to the castle didn't come back. When the first attack hit, I locked myself in the cellar. I say we just wait for help to come.
Why are you still open?
I'm not abandoning my tavern because of a few monsters. The second I'm in the Chantry, Murdock and his men will be here drinking all my ale.
Shouldn't you be out defending the village?
Why? When them creatures attack, I lock myself in the cellar, just batten the hatches and wait it out. What's the point in getting myself killed with all the rest of them? If that makes me a coward, then I'm a coward.
Luckily, I know how to speak to cowards. Either die fighting in the militia, or die now. Your choice.
But Bann Teagan said we didn't have to. He said... Fine, I'll go.
I approve. All who are able should fight.
But all of this better be here when I get back. I don't want the place drunk out from under me. Blasted bloody...
I see you got that bastard Lloyd to join the militia. It's about time he did something to help out. I guess this puts me in charge. Poor Lloyd will have an apoplexy just thinking about it, eh?
It is far more appropriate that a woman run a business anyway.
I close up, but it gives the militia a place to take their minds off tonight. Me too, I suppose. Keep safe and come back any time. I won't lock up until near sundown.
I hope your helping makes a difference. It'd be a shame you coming here and dying on the same night.
I'll drink to you, friend. It's nice to know someone cares about our village.
Not looking for company.
So, you're Berwick?
What? How did you know that? Well, that's my name. Why?
You seem awfully nervous. Why is that?
No reason. I just didn't know how you knew my name, that's all.
Shouldn't you be with the militia?
Why? I don't live here.
Then what are you doing here?
Just waiting until I can leave again. I'm not here to talk.
Oh, sorry. You're just here to act suspiciously, then.
What? I'm not acting suspiciously.
That was convincing.
There's something about this man's demeanor. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But you do, don't you? I know a spy when I see one.
Look, you're very pretty and all, but I was told to... just leave me alone.
Told? Told to do what?
Nothing. Nobody told me to do anything. Just because you're a Grey Warden doesn't mean you can go around threatening people.
Huh. And how did you know I'm a Grey Warden?
I just, overheard it, that's all. If you'll excuse me, I want to get to the Chantry before the sun goes down.
No. This will be easier for you if you tell us what you're hiding.
But I never... Oh, all right, I'll tell you. Just don't hurt me. This is more than I bargained for. Look, they just paid me to watch the castle and send word if anything should change. But they never said anything about monsters. I haven't even been able to report anything since this started. I'm stuck, same as you, I swear.
And what were you watching for?
Just to report any changes, honest. All I could send word about was the Arl getting sick. After that, monsters started coming from the castle.
So you know how this happened? Tell me now.
I don't know anything about these creatures. When the Arl got sick, I got scared that people would think I was involved. But I swear I don't know anything about it. They sent me to watch. Maybe they knew the Arl would get sick. I don't know.
Who are they? Who hired you?
A tall fellow. I forget his name. He, said he was working for Hal. Arl Rendon Hal. He's an important man, Terran Logain's right hand. So I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, you have no idea. So Hal's involved? As if he hasn't killed enough nobles. How do I know you're telling the truth?
Here, this is a letter from them. It has instructions and everything. Keep it, do whatever you want with it. I just thought I was serving the king and making a bit of coin on the side. You have to believe me.
Fine. Then make yourself useful and defend Redcliffe tonight.
Fitting.
Oh, all right. I'll do it. Thank you for your mercy. I won't forget it.
I do not understand what a golem is. Why would anyone create such a being?
Why would one create a sword? To strike at its enemies.
But you are no sword golem. You speak like a living creature, but act like a possession. I do not know what to make of you.
I am no possession. Not now that the control rod is broken.
No, it is still in your heart. Do you even realize this? Age by age have men stood up and said to the world, "From what has come before me I was forged, but I am new and greater than my forebears." And so each man walks the world in ruin, abandoned and untried, less than the whole of his being.
It is a riddle.
It seems so.
Have a care where your eyes linger, Alistair.
Yes, well, don't worry. It's not what you think.
I see.
I was looking at your nose.
And what is it about my nose that captivates you so?
I was just thinking that it looks exactly like your mother's.
I hate you so much.
What?
Never mind.
Why are you here?
What do you mean?
Women are priests, or merchants, or artisans, or farmers. None of those have any place fighting.
I have no idea how to answer this.
It is not done. There is no more to it.
Do you mean your people have no female mages or warriors?
Of course not. Why would our women wish to be men?
What are you talking about? They don't wish to be men.
They shouldn't. That can only lead to frustration.
Sten! No, never mind. Let's drop this.
I am told that it lost a large number of comrades in the battle with the Darkspawn.
Me? I guess I did, yes. I didn't know all of them that well, however. Mostly just Duncan.
I'm unfamiliar with this name.
It's not important. You don't need to know who he was.
I cannot remember if I ever had anyone important to me. All I remember is being given orders.
I would gladly be following Duncan's orders right now, if I could.
It enjoys following others. I find that odd.
You wouldn't understand. Don't worry, I don't expect you to.
Stop looking at me, mongrel. I have nothing you want. Why do you keep staring at me so, you flea-ridden beast? Can you not tell when you are not wanted? I enjoy company of creatures of the wild, not stench-ridden domesticated wolves. And he persists. Maddening!
Greetings, Grey Warden. I am as relieved as Bann Teagan is to see you here. I must admit I do not know quite how to address you. Is my lady sufficient?
I am a Tan's daughter, so my lady would be proper.
Very well then, my lady. I am humbly at your service. I am Sir Perth, until recently in direct service of Arl Eamon of Redcliffe. For now my charge is defending the village from these evil assaults. Would that I had chosen not to seek out the urn of sacred ashes. Perhaps I would have fended off whatever evil befell the castle, or perhaps I would be dead. Ah well, with the Grey Warden aiding our defense, perhaps all is not lost.
Have you considered using the oil in the village store?
No one told me of this. Oil, you say? How much exactly?
Enough to set plenty of those bastards aflame.
Assuming that would hurt them. Yes, I see what you have in mind. That might be effective, if used carefully. Yes, excellent idea. I'll send some men to collect the oil. We'll use it to slow these creatures down. Have you anything else to ask me in the meantime?
Where can I get supplies?
I'm not sure. Murdock mentioned a blacksmith in the village, but I believe the militia is using everything he had. Beyond that, you might try the village store. It's locked up, but there may be items of use still within. I do not know.
What about the tavern?
Ugh, a fellow named Lloyd runs it. He refuses to close and evacuate to the Chantry. I suppose he might still have something to sell you, though I wouldn't encourage dealing with a fool. He's a profiteer and nothing more.
Tell me about your quest for the urn.
When the Isle fell sick, we were at a loss. Nothing worked to cure him, and he just kept getting worse. Finally, our lesser Isolde came up with a plan. The Urn of Sacred Ashes is a legendary artifact said to hold great healing powers. If found, it might save him.
According to the legend, the followers of Andraste brought her ashes back to Ferelden to hide them from the Imperium.
We knights volunteered to seek it out. Few of us have returned. Many are still out there, unaware of what is happening here.
Just what was the Earl sick with?
We were never certain. He thirsted for water and then grew weaker and weaker. He brought in a mage, but even that did nothing. The Alessa believed he was cursed and that we needed the power of Andraste herself, or he would surely perish.
Of all the impossible cures, why that one?
The Al once employed a scholar, Brother Genetivi. He had proof the urn was in Ferelden, or so I was told.
Can no one find the other knights and bring them back?
Eventually, perhaps. The ones I have here were those near enough to recall within the last few days. I only returned myself because I was passing by Redcliffe and heard the news of strange attacks.
So, the knights left the Earl defenseless?
Not at all. A great number of soldiers remained in Castle Redcliffe. I wonder if they perished there and were transformed into these things. The thought chills my blood.
What can we do to help?
We have sufficient armor and weapons, but my knights are too few to stand against the monsters without assistance. Perhaps you could approach Mother Hannah in the Chantry for some holy protection against these evil creatures. Otherwise, I do not know what else you could provide beyond your own talents. We're as prepared for the onslaught as we could possibly be, all things considered.
I'll see what I can do.
That gladdens my heart to hear it. Maker watch over you.
Were you really in that cage for 20 days?
It might have been closer to 30. I stopped counting after a while.
What did you do? I mean, 20 days is a long time to sit in one place and do nothing.
On good days, I posed riddles to the passers-by, offering them treasures in exchange for correct answers.
Really?
No.
Ah, too bad. That's got serious potential.
I have never heard of a thing called a Qunari.
Then you have not been listening. We did not row to shore last year. We have been about for centuries.
I have listened. I have done little else, in fact. And yet I do not remember anyone mentioning such a Qunari in all my years in the village.
Relying on humans as a source of education is a fool's errand.
They are rather ignorant, aren't they? And feeble, at the best of times.
We have creatures on Parvolan that are similar. The humans call them monkeys. They are dull, cowardly vermin. They cry out shrilly when threatened and throw their own feces.
That is an excellent comparison. I wonder if they're related.
Possibly.
Bevan said you were the one who found him. I can't possibly repay you.
About the sword.
Bevan told me about Grandfather's sword. So you have it then? I suppose it won't go to waste, at least.
The helpless need not ask for what is deserved. Such a thing of value should be paid for in kind. To cheat the helpless is hardly honorable.
I have no idea what it's worth, to be honest. And you found Bevan. I couldn't ask you for money.
Join the Grey Wardens. Steal from orphans. Let's kick a grandmother next. That should make us real popular.
I'll return it after the battle. It belongs to your family.
Oh, how generous we are today, it appears.
Use it well. If we survive, I'll gladly take it back. Thank you again for Bevan. With my mother gone... Well, I'm just glad he's safe. I can't thank you enough.
What about a kiss from the pretty girl?
Blech. How noble.
You're very sweet. I suppose there's no harm in it.
Enjoy doing that, do you?
Oh my. Stay safe tonight. And good luck.
I hear both Murdock and Sir Perth are ready for nightfall. Excellent news.
What is it you need, child?
Sir Perth needs holy protection for the knights.
I have done all I can for them. I pray for them each night and seek the Maker's forgiveness for their sins before they face their deaths. What Sir Perth seeks is something that is not in my power to give.
Can't you just bless them?
You do not understand. Sir Perth believes that I can protect them against these creatures, a shield only the Maker can provide, and that I withhold this power.
Does he not realize that it is his faith alone which must sustain him? It is faith alone which will bring the Maker's aid.
Unfortunately, he seeks the Maker's protection in a far too literal sense. This is something I cannot promise nor provide.
So you won't help the knights, then?
Of course I will do whatever I can. But Sir Perth hopes for something that does not exist.
Are you saying the Maker has no power?
Of course not. The Maker could do whatever he wished, but he does not provide protection against evil just because one thinks he should. The Maker turned his back on us long ago for mankind's folly. We must earn his grace, not demand it.
That sounds like a convenient excuse.
Does it? The Maker created everything you see. It is we who owe him, not the other way around.
He helps those who help themselves?
If we seek to deserve it, the Maker may smile on us. But until the chant is heard and understood by all, he will not return to us. Sir Perth has a good heart and means well, but his hope exceeds reality. All I can do is pray for him and his men.
So what does protect against such evil?
I do not know. Certainly nothing that isn't tainted with the very foul magic Sir Perth seeks protection from. I did not mean to speak against your magic. I only mean that to affect these monsters might take the same type of power that created them. I would no sooner trust that power in our hands than I would anywhere else. We are better off trusting in our faith and fighting for our lives.
And dying.
There are worse things than dying, child.
Well, can't you just tell him the Maker will watch over him? Morale is a powerful thing, you know.
You mean you want me to let them think the Maker protects them in a real sense? I will not lie to them like that.
But if they think it helps them...
I suppose their belief in the Maker's power could inspire them, but it just seems like trickery. Very well. If it keeps them alive, I will do what I must. I have a number of silver-cast holy symbols. Tell Sir Perth that he can have them, and that wearing them will confer the Maker's protection. Now please, let me tend to these poor folk. I must do what I can, and I suggest you do the same.
I am led to understand that the Canary have their own mages as well. Is this so?
You would not understand.
Not understand? Is it mental capacity that you believe I lack? Or are you worried I will sympathize with my so-called brethren?
Take your pick.
Is that supposed to make me angry?
It means I find myself wishing that your people held proper, civilized attitudes towards magic.
That is a rather hostile thing to say.
And yet you continue speaking. Astonishing.
So this bird thing of yours?
I do not have a bird thing. I have an extremely justified rage of the flying vermin that plague this world.
But there are some birds that are useful. Like the ones you eat.
I approve of the ritual slaying of the foul beast, but it eats one? Disgusting.
Oh, they're really quite tasty. You just need to rip off the feathers first. I like the skin myself.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Ooh, golem vomit. This I have to see.
The Knights of Redcliffe are ready to fight at your disposal.
You said you wanted holy protection?
Have you spoken to the revered mother? Has she offered anything?
Mother Hannah has some holy amulets. Will they do?
Must we do this? The faith that will protect these men must come from their heart, surely.
If they are the same as the symbols worn by their priests, well, that would more than suffice.
But it's not even magical.
I do not approve of magery and such, but the symbols of the Chantry are holy and blessed by the Maker, not the work of mages. I will send some men to collect the amulets. Please give my regards to Mother Hannah for seeing some sense at last.
What is your status?
We retrieved more oil from the village store. It is ready to use as our first line of defense, as you suggested. Overall, I believe my knights are ready for the coming battle. Morale is high, thanks to you. We are prepared to meet the enemy here when they come. Maker, prepare us. We shall be victorious.
You do not truly think I look as my mother does, do you?
Have you really been thinking about that all this time?
I am simply curious.
And not insecure in the slightest, I'm sure.
I think I look nothing like her.
I don't know. Give it a few hundred years and it'll be a spot-on match.
I said that I look nothing like her.
All right, got it. Totally different. I see that now.
Say no more. The Arl lives, and I will not listen to your inauspicious chatter.
The Knights of Redcliffe are ready to fight at your disposal.
We're ready to make our stand here.
There is still time before the sun goes down. If you have not yet spoken to Murdock, or if there is anything you have planned...
No. We're ready.
Good luck to you then, and may the Maker watch over us all.
I await your command.
I imagine life in the wilds was a bit lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But they didn't speak back, did they?
Don't be foolish.
So, all that was normal to you?
What did I have to compare it with? In time, I began to wonder, of course.
That does sound wonderful.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
You stole it?
I saw what I desired, and I took it. Such a concept did not even exist to me.
I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
I have a hard time picturing you heartbroken.
That is because I learned my lesson well.
You were a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Harsh lessons for a child.
Perhaps, but they were necessary still.
You don't need to live like that any longer.
Do I not? I am still an apostate mage, even if I have left the wilds. The Darkspawn are yet undefeated. No, there is much that remains.
I suppose the lessons made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
So, you said you were raised by the Chantry?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Really? That must have been tough for them.
Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too, and devout Andrastians to boot.
That would explain the smell, then.
And my table manners, too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
That is what they say about Anders.
That, and that they make a great deal of cheese. Funny, but the dogs never mention cheese. As a matter of fact, if you said cheese around them, they'd start growling. Isn't that odd? Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
As a matter of fact, yes. And they all involve strangling the person answering a question with a joke.
You would do violence upon me? I am shocked and dismayed. The dogs would never threaten me like this, you know.
Too bad. The dream you seem to enjoy it well enough.
I think I'd completely lost my chain of thought. Oh, there it is.
You were talking about flying dogs, remember? The ones who, I'm guessing, sold you to the Chantry?
Oh, there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Archdemon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
But you blamed him then, I take it.
I was young and resentful and not very pious. Of course I blamed him. I remember screaming at him like a little child. Well, I was a child, so I doubt he was surprised.
He wasn't your father, though. Do you know who is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Archdemon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Alistair, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Isle didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
That's an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet.
Well, it does seem odd for the Earl to raise an orphan.
Probably. It was just a kindness he did to a woman who had served him anyway. I suppose you're right. I wasn't raised as the Earl's son, though, if you're picturing that. I slept in hay, out in the stables, not on silk sheets. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Earl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know.
Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him. You'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any.
And you think he'll help us?
I think so, yes. This news we've heard about him being sick disturbs me, though. I wonder if we won't discover that Loghain has come to the same conclusion as we have. All I know is that the Earl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caitlyn's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
So, this vision of yours...
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
Did you hear voices?
No, not voices. It's not so simple. He spoke directly to my soul, in a language no human tongue can express. In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
The Chantry says the Maker left us.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
Are you saying the Chantry is wrong?
They said my ideas were blasphemy. But is it so bad if what I believe gives me comfort? If it could give someone else comfort?
Believe what feels right to you, Leliana.
Thank you. It's nice to find someone who agrees. I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue.
Well, I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a Blight to stop.
What's with the heavy sighs?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
Won't we be right next to your stain?
I think not. I am made of pure rock, skin to core. At best, I can become a pile of dust, but a smear I will definitely not leave behind. That's for softer, squishier things like itself and its friends.
Well, glad you care, at least.
It's true. One single tear, and then it's off to the north, I think. Or maybe west. I haven't decided.
I don't think our chances are that bad.
Oh, how adorable. Such hope is sweet to see, if a bit alarming. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Why are we stopping?
Let's just get a few things straight.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
What's your hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry where I would say duty.
It's not your duty to handle the Blight, though.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
A bit hostile, are we?
Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding.
So, this is you being calm and helpful?
Couldn't you tell?
I need to know if I can trust you at my back.
I am Kunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises.
Are you all right? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
So what made you agree to help me?
For the moment, you are the enemy of my enemy.
For the moment?
Yes. I am Kunari. As long as you do not make yourself my enemy, I will aid you. I can promise nothing else.
So, the Darkspawn are your enemy?
They have no more allies than a hurricane or an earthquake. They are enemies to all.
They're coming!
Get to your positions! Make ready!
It's time, men. Know that we fight for the Maker and our owl. Light the traps. Burst foul creatures.
Is begun.
Another battle, I say. Let's fight.
Stupid rotten corpse.
The monsters are attacking from the lake! They're attacking the barricades! We need help!
Knights! Stay here and guard the path. Shale, stay with them. The rest of you with me.
Come on! We need to hurry!
So, you have won the battle. A close thing.
Coming! Watch out! Here, Morrigan. Over there.
We'll make
Let's have at it!
Shall be done.
We must fight! Now,
Let's have at it!
try not to look too incompetent. It's embarrassing.
What? No more? Oh. We're still doomed, just so you know.